If a guy got caught for using steroids during his NFL career, yet he put up Hall of Fame numbers, would you be okay with him being in the Hall of Fame?
No.
So what about baseball?
Well, baseball, they've always had a messed up system.
All right, guys, welcome to the episode of Fully Loaded with Chris Carter and Shawn Mike. Appreciate y'all jumping on as always. Appreciate your time. How you doing, man?
Oh, good, baby. How you doing?
You ready to roll?
Let's do it.
I love it. All right, this is what was on my mind earlier because we had talked about your Hall of Fame. We talked about the ballot. I have my own, I always struggled with. I'm just if you've not done it, it's hard for me. Mm-hmm. I follow people that have done what they're teaching me to do, but I want to switch gears because I was listening to this discussion the other day about the Baseball Hall of Fame, and I want to talk about when I grew up, and I'm sure dudes were, but I didn't see many dudes on steroids. But it was also a long time ago. You know what I mean? But I'm sure that there were plenty. When I played baseball, I was like, man, he put on 30 pounds of muscle. Now, that didn't mean you hit a baseball, though, because it was still going 96 miles an hour and moving a lot. So you still had to hit the fucking ball to begin with. But there's, you're coming up now in these another year, and you keep looking at, first of all, you look at Barry Bonds and that whole crew of guys. I don't know that anybody during that era wasn't juicing. I mean, there's a lot of dudes in the
That's fair.
Baseball Hall of Fame who they had the same forehead, the same. I saw them, I'm mad at them. Do you think that it's fair that somehow, or you agree or think it's fair, or it's just that somehow some dudes are getting left out when a lot of dudes were doing it? Major League Baseball, I don't need to be on the inside to know. They knew it was happening. Kids knew it was happening. Dudes didn't put 40 pounds of muscle on in a year. Jeff Bagwell's from where I'm at. I don't know who got caught, who didn't. Brady Anderson, remember him in Sports Illustrated? My buddy's like, look what happened to Brady Anderson. He was this big before, and then he was fucking yoked. So I'm like, wow, that ain't from eating raw eggs and working out every day. How do you believe it's fair and just that some of these dudes are probably just going to get left out for life because either the suspicion was higher or they got caught because some just got caught? And if it's not happening in football, right? Are there guys that are out of the Pro Football Hall of Fame because they use steroids?
No, we have no guy that was voted or we took in consideration that he was on steroids, even though the steroids era of the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, before we got Olympic steroids testing in the late 80s.
Got it.
So they started catching them.
Got it.
Then.
If a guy got caught for using steroids during his NFL career, yet he put up Hall of Fame numbers and had a Hall of Fame career, would you be okay with him being in the Hall of Fame?
No.
No. Got it. So what about baseball? Why are some of these dudes in?
Well, baseball, they've always had a messed up system because baseball's had a bunch of scandals and everything. Some they've regarded, some of them they've disregarded. But to me, as far as performance, steroids will enhance your performance. Now, baseball's problem was that when they got steroids in the hands of their best players, being Mark McGwire,
Sosa,
Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, these guys went to the stratosphere. And it wasn't that they just went to the stratosphere. The league, the popularity, they took us on a ride with them.
Which we all enjoyed.
But it's what you call an artificial high. Mm-hmm. Like what we watched in women's basketball, the tournament, South Carolina, LSU, Iowa, we turning out, man, we watching games 9 o'clock at night, watching the women. We don't know 99% of the women out. We don't even know the coaches. We don't know, but we went on the ride because the play. Baseball, we went on the ride because we thought the play and the charisma with the guys that they was putting on a show. Mm-hmm. That was the first time, and then come to find out, it was artificial. Now, just because the sport was allowing it, if I go down the highway here and there's a cop out there and he's just letting everybody run down through there and then he popped me, I'm not going to say, hey, it was 10 cars run. Like, I realized what happened. Hey, were you driving above the speed limit? Absolutely.
But dude, they were letting him speed for like days and weeks and months and years. Like they were just watching. Everybody's clapping. Did you not know they were using steroids then? I knew.
I knew because I knew. I mean, I knew the guys, but I'm in sports, and I'm into working out, and I do know what going in the weight room will make you look like and what it don't look like.
Correct. And I know what eating right and working out looked like, and that didn't look that way. And I knew, which means if I knew, everybody in Major League Baseball knew.
People in baseball knew. Now, that's what makes this situation very complicated. Because the people that knew and the people that control the rules and everything, that now they've moved the yard marker. Okay, now it was over here. Okay, now they moved it over here. But when you get into things like, to me, these are just no-brainers. Okay? If you're putting something artificially in your body that is against the law to do and it gives you an advantage over the competition, I'm against that.
Correct.
I'm against betting on any sport, anything.
So you think Pete Rose should not be in the Hall of Fame because he bet on baseball?
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely. Because if he was such a historian, knowing the game the way he was, like, why would he do it? And me and you know why he did it, because he was an addict.
Correct.
Like, no matter what he was going to be into, he was going to be into it like
something.
that.
Correct.
And the reason why he got 4,100 hits is because he was an addict about baseball.
If he admitted and apologized, would they let him in?
From the beginning, yes.
He won't do it.
That's grown man stuff.
I know.
That's real grown man. But when you continue to weave more of the lie, like that's
Well, people get insulted because you just think everybody's stupid.
I mean, dude, you in the dugout betting on the Reds, man. Like, man, you bet on two birds flying down the street, man. That's
100%.
like
That's who you
That's
were.
who Pete. Man, that's who Pete is. Pete is betting on somebody today.
No doubt.
Somewhere.
Right this minute.
Yes.
Something's going on.
He got to slip on something.
Could be a kickball game down the street.
Them damn kids, man. I can't believe that, man. I was getting.
It was laying three.
They were plus 140, laying 3 points. them little
motherfuckers. Yeah, exactly. Look what they cost me. I agree with you.
Right.
So but you're opposed to that. The steroids, even though, hey, this one's used and this one's not. Did some dudes get in because they were better to the media, even though the preponderance of the evidence was, hey, man, that dude didn't get that big on his own?
Well, first of all, the way that is, Barry Bonds is one of the biggest jerks all time.
Yeah.
So when you put that into the equation of...
And he's just always been that way. Just a straight-up jerk.
Yes.
Treats people that way. That's what he is.
So now it became more personal because the fact of the matter is I kind of like Jose Canseco. I definitely like Mark McGwire.
Correct.
And Sammy Sosa got something about him.
No
but this
doubt.
other dude, I don't like him.
Correct.
So it's like, how do I manage my
correct.
how do I manage my emotions?
I'd like to get these in.
Yeah, because I don't like this guy. And I really like these guys. Mm-hmm. And I liked it, the show that they were putting on. I liked the popularity of baseball and what it was doing. Had you glued in every night. Man, this guy's going deep. This guy's going deep. It was just like, now baseball has some of the best athletes playing baseball. And that's what it looked like to me. Like, because Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds, they could be playing in the NFL. They could be playing hockey.
No doubt.
Like, them dudes look like, primetime athletes. So I'm just totally against it because there was too many mornings that I just woke up and I tied my shoes and I got out there and went running. Mm-hmm. There were too many times that dude strapped the weight on there. I ain't feel like doing it, and I did it. There was too many times out there I'm out there catching balls on the jugs machine. There's too many times I'm out there doing bear crawls in the grass. There's too many times, man, I've been doing this. No.
Correct.
No, because I know. Because I was in a meeting with a bunch of NFL players, and the guy was like, he asked me my opinion on something, and then I went to talk about it, and he was like, well, you're different and everything because, they gave you one of them gold jackets. I mean, yeah, whoa. What? They ain't giving these out in the NFL.
Correct.
Man, you got to take one of these, man.
Yeah.
You need to correct yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you never approach me talking about nobody gave me nothing.
That's right.
I had to take this. Don't you know the history of this? They tried to keep me out of there, man.
Correct. Yeah, they worked hard at
Man,
it.
don't talk to me about that mess. So for me, in my journey in sports, it's always been about, I'm going to get here early. I'm going to work harder than them. Oh, I got just as much talent as them, too. I love it. I ain't going to quit. My mama told me don't come back home, so I ain't got nowhere to go. And this is what I was born to do. So I'm going to maximize that wherever it's going to take me. Whatever the end result is, I'm going to live with it. It might not be Hall of Fame, but I'm going to live with it.
Correct.
Because it's everything that I got to put into it. It just happened to end up in the Hall. Because that's the kind of genetic ceiling that God gave me. That's the kind of genetic makeup as far as effort God gave me. I'm a learned person, watching film, learning different techniques. My superpower is you tell me to do something as a coach. Like God put me on your team, you tell me to do something, man, I'm getting ready to try to make you happy.
Yep. I'm going to please you.
Yeah,
I'm going to do what you ask me to do, Coach.
So that's the way I go about it. And now they talk about all these other things, man, don't, like, you know what you did, and you know what you didn't do. And you didn't want to take the chance.
That you weren't going to make it
Yes.
without it.
Yes.
So the guys that got in and maybe didn't get caught officially, so be it. They're in. Ain't not nobody can do about it.
Right.
You ain't got a bitch because you were speeding anyway. So like, okay, if he got in or not, you ain't in.
Pay your ticket.
Pay your ticket and maybe have some contrition. And
Yes.
say, hey, I messed up. I'm a human being.
And
I messed up.
look at the message they missed. Look at all the kids and everything that could have been, talked to. Like, listen, man, let's go about this the right
Yeah, don't
way.
look at me. Look what I did.
Yes.
Let me help you save
They
your
took
life.
They took that away from them.
Yeah.
They took that away from them because they said they didn't do it. Well, okay, now you're not getting the trophy and you're not getting the testimony to do something good with it. So they're sitting out there telling everybody, oh man, everyone else is crazy. All those
Everybody's
writers
against me.
are crazy. They don't like me
Yeah.
and everything. Man, that's no message to have as an old man. That ain't no good message.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, dude. If Pete Rose had said, if I heard that when I was younger about gambling being a problem, I probably would have listened. I respected him. I got caught up. It was the juice. It was the rush, whatever it was. And I was betting on everything and anything.
Bro,
listened.
we're still fighting the Pete Rose problem, man.
Yeah.
We just had an NBA guy, then thrown NBA games. He got banned for
life.
Like we just had a Major League Baseball. This dude bet on 340 games.
I know.
But don't you think if Pete Rose would have said something a long time ago before we even got to all this money? Because the fact of the matter is, imagine those guys' family tree. That shit is altered forever, man.
100%.
I mean, they had generational opportunity. They at the gate, man. They giving away the money.
Over what? Over
I'm
what they're
injured.
making the
I'm getting ready to
game.
bet on 300 games while I'm sitting back injured, while I'm getting paid.
Right. I don't feel well tonight. You make my player prop for $500,000.
Man, the basketball player, this joker was trying to throw a game that somebody was getting ready to get paid $1 million. This dude took himself out of the game.
Correct.
At the end of the game, so somebody get paid $1 million. Man, now, people like that, you do stuff like that, that's how you come up missing.
That's exactly right, bro. No doubt. On both sides. You don't do that, yeah. Well, hey, and I got to ask you. So, Otani, I try to rationalize all this. That he's got a dude that's translator that somehow accesses all his money and makes all these bets. Or is this like the best fall guy in the history of Major League Sports ever in the world? It's my mind. I'm like, I just don't get how somebody takes your money and does that.
Okay, now, listen.
And maybe they do.
Listen, I'm glad that you said the fall guy, because I had said that before in a presentation
Which I thought was good.
To the NFL rookies.
Because it makes sense.
And you actually described
what you were saying.
Yes. There is no way that this once-in-a-lifetime player.
Correct.
Okay, now, it's not like he just got to Major League Baseball. Like, he was making millions before he got to the Dodgers with the Angels. Am I correct, sir?
You are correct.
So all the support that this guy had in his transition into the United States, dominating Major League Baseball for several years.
No doubt.
Man, baseball just cleaned that thing up.
Of course they did.
Like baseball, this is too complicated to explain. So let me make this simple.
And it's real bad for the brand.
This guy right here and this guy are together, but this guy knows nothing about this guy.
Right. And this guy did everything.
Yes.
He robbed this guy who didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Right.
He was an icon all over the world. It's that guy
Right.
right there. And that guy said, I did it.
Right.
I'm good.
Right.
I'm going to jail.
And you know what? It's hard to send a message out to my community that I'm getting ready to pay a guy $800 million over the next 10 years, and he might be involved in gambling. That don't make no sense, right? That
Correct. But he's that kind of player, too. You watch the game and watch him play. Guys will be able to do what he does in the mound, do what he does in the batter's box. That don't happen. That don't happen.
First time in my lifetime.
Me too.
I mean, they talk about a guy named Babe Ruth, and to me,
but
that's all folklore.
Correct.
Okay?
And dudes were kicking the ball in with their left foot.
Yeah.
And the guy got done. Hey, the guy was delivering a package on a truck.
Right.
And then he went to the game at 5 o'clock. Nothing wrong with that. And then Babe Ruth's out there throwing hand grenades. He struck him out.
But this dude, what he is doing,
Yes.
I mean, he's 1-1 in the batter's box. He 1-1 on the mound.
Correct.
Like, special provisions.
Correct.
Special provisions.
So sticking on that line, you think about, and you know what they used to say all the time about Vegas? They would say they were so worried about having pro sports in Vegas for years. Like when did the Golden Knights get there? When did the Raiders get there? Right? And now everybody's there. Like they have Major League Baseball coming in.
They got it all.
They
Just had Super Bowl.
Would you want to play in Vegas? You had gotten drafted. If you were right out of Ohio State, now you got drafted. They said, "Hey, Chris, you're going to Vegas." Would it have been exciting? Didn't care? Indifferent? Oh shit, I'm scared.
I mean, this is the thing. You know, man, trouble is everywhere. And if you don't have the right fundamental truths, then they're gonna get you. But I just believe in programming. I believe in support. I believe if I have a franchise there, I put the right things in place that my players respect what's here. Like, you need to respect this because this will hurt you.
Correct. It is a different world.
Like,
it is.
We go to
world.
Vegas for a bender.
Yeah.
This ain't no place to be living.
You're gonna be living here.
No, now we're gonna have to figure out how to thrive here. Like, how are you gonna be able to thrive in this environment? And it's no different than Magic Johnson getting drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, it can be done. Kobe Bryant is a young kid getting drafted by the Lakers. Okay, it can be done. Chicago, Michael Jordan. Chicago, LA, New York, all these things are different. They are not Vegas. So we're going to have to put a different set of things around our athletes there so that they can still have the same experience that a guy in Houston has, Miami, Jacksonville, Green Bay, all those smaller, Milwaukee, Minnesota. Like, they deserve to have the same type of experience. And they can do that. I would isolate the team. Like, that Vegas would be like, oh, man, that's way down there. Like, what we doing out here? And I would provide everything that the players and their families would need at the facility.
Outside of the strip.
Yes.
Outside of all that.
They want entertainment, if they want to eat, all these things that they would be able to come to us to be able to do that. They wouldn't have to go through Vegas. And then I would have connections on the Vegas Strip of where my people going. And I got people watching them, and I'm telling them this.
Which they must
This
have
what
now.
we do.
They must be doing this now.
Yeah.
The Raiders these guys are doing this shit now.
You got to be. You got to have grown men leaders. You got to have guys like Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of my favorite football players. Dude is in recovery. Man, body all tatted up. Man, that dude play with energy like this is his last breath. And he says all the right stuff. Man, like, they can do something special there in Vegas. But it takes a different type of focus. And that's what you have to be able to talk to your team about on a daily basis. Are you ready to commit to that type of focus? Because in life, there are distractions. and we live in a distraction. If we're here, we're going to have to, how are we going to function, and how are we going to function at a high level? Because we got these dudes in Minnesota and Green Bay and down in Jacksonville. They don't have these distractions. They like just, oh, shucks, buddy, let's just go to practice. Oh, shucks, buddy.
Let's go to Cracker Barrel and get something to eat.
Right. I can't wait for the game. I'm all rested up. Like,
Yeah.
you're going against those guys.
Yeah.
So how are you going to attack that? You know, how your eating habits going to be? Like, they got to be on par with what your competition is, or not, you're certain to fail.
So when we talk about gambling, because I'm thinking about Vegas still in college sports, growing up, you didn't come from no money. Mom worked her complete ass off. Said y'all better be pro athletes for you to figure out a way. You better figure something out. Like that's your deal.
Yeah, you either got sports or you got the Army.
That's Army. You got one or two.
Do I look like I'm good with a gun?
No.
Okay. Thank you. There's people built for that, right, dog?
No. Yeah. You ain't one of them. That's right. Was there a time when you were younger, high school, college, where that was a pressure that you from a because I mean, dude, there's a lot of money. Listen, there's a lot of money in gambling. There's a lot of money in that shit. And if you're not gonna, and your passion for the game leaves no doubt that you wouldn't have ever done anything to jeopardize or disrespect the game. You wouldn't have. Maybe whatever you had, but you didn't disrespect the game. Is it more prevalent than we think it is? Or do we think it's more? Are we blowing it out? Is it happening more than we think at the collegiate level?
Well, I'm just going to tell you, we've had at least 15 to 20 players suspended. So I would say it's more prevalent than even you giving it credit for.
Really?
Because if we got 15 to 20 players getting suspended, I mean, we just popped the dude. He gambled 300 games. Like. Right. At 100 games, did we have him? At 200 games, he was gambling. Didn't we have him? Didn't we have enough information? Correct. We had to wait for him to get to 350 games?
Correct.
So they ain't watching him close enough. And I know that they got software that they can talk and try to decode each other, you know, so that how he was going to throw the game and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like, so, I mean, to me, I'm just putting resources, man. This is no different than when people started taking creatine and we started getting more muscle pulls.
Yes.
Like you got to start putting some resources to that. Okay, correct. Now your muscles are retaining more water. Yes, you're able to be bigger and you do gain some muscle, but you're more apt to have some type of soft tissue strain because of the water in the muscle. So we put attention to that. Like, man, we need to be throwing resources at these kids because this is the kryptonite. Like, this is the thing that take you out.
Correct.
Like, this is if you are, if you are a vampire, they say you got to be shot with a silver bullet. Like, this is the silver bullet.
Silver bullet. Well, they got lifetime bans.
And man, when they put that on your Wikipedia page, dog.
Yeah, dude. They never go away.
Man, you ain't recovering because you ain't even got no resume to even speak for. Like, how you gonna recover?
Who wants to play with a guy like that ever again at any kind of pro level where anybody's getting paid? What guy in the world goes, he's on my team?
He can't go over in Europe and play.
Correct. Nobody wants him. So he's literally cut himself out from making money at something he's that damn good at.
Right.
He can't get paid.
Even when you go down to the park, man, and dudes just hooping, they like, man, I ain't picking him, man. That dude threw a game, man. You totally against anything we about. Right.
So he's done.
Dude pulled himself out of it.
You think other players didn't know? They weren't sitting there going like.
No, they definitely didn't know.
They definitely did.
They didn't know.
They did not know.
They did not.
So you couldn't tell if he was sick, really hurt. They just kind of said.
And the reason why, because these dudes is so flaky and they so weak that they didn't seen dudes quit, take themselves out before. It's not like our era been like.
Back in the day, you would have known.
Bruh, come on, man.
But you're saying
like,
the players now are so flaky and
yes,
soft with their shit.
Absolutely.
That another guy just going like, my fucking toe hurts or I'm not feeling well today.
Right.
Taking a seat was no big deal.
Absolutely.
It was just par for the course.
They got guaranteed money. Man, we got another game in 2 days. Man, I'm good, man.
Which makes it even easier to do this shit today. Because you did know back in the day.
Yep.
Because Jordan would have grabbed you by the back of the neck and be like, bro, you ain't sick.
Right.
You ain't hurt. You ain't bleeding. You ain't dying.
Right.
Why
But
aren't you
all of us
playing?
are doing 82.
Correct.
See, that's the norm.
Correct.
And that's the heartbeat of the leader. Now you got, hey, man, dude might play 55 games. And I might take me and my 2 kids and a date or something to a game. I'm going to have to drop $2,000. Dude, before the game, not playing.
Correct.
Player's decision. What?
Correct.
Like, they don't see the reason why the NBA is not going to ever replace the NFL from a popularity standpoint, because our dudes play. All right? They only got 17 games. We go through hundreds of practices, hundreds of workouts just to play one game.
Correct.
And them dudes going to be out there.
Correct. And
All
the
right.
only time you see him is in the season. You're in the playoffs. You clinched everything. But
Yeah.
dudes still want to play.
Absolutely.
They still want to play.
Absolutely. Still want to.
Correct.
Still want to, because they know that that's the only way I'm going to get better is by
Correct.
playing. There's some misconception. These guys think that, if I play less, I'm going to get better. No, it's impossible.
Correct.
It's impossible. People practice less now. People play less now than ever before.
But not in the NFL.
At an all-time rate. Nope, not in the NFL.
It's different.
They different dudes. And the guys that are leading these guys are different guys. Because we're going to all do this together, man.
And if some guy was in the NFL and you look like the other was half-assing it, missed a tackle he should have missed a block he should have missed, there are other dudes
They're going to check him.
would check him. But in the NBA,
And they're going to check him, and they're going to check him, and they're going to check him on the field, and they're going to check him in the locker room, and then if not, they're going to check with the coaches and say, man, we need to get this dude out of here.
got it. But don't work like that in the NBA.
No. Because the dude is guaranteed. Like all the money is guaranteed. You got 8 players got guaranteed contracts.
No matter what they do, they get paid.
No matter what they do.
Crazy.
So all this load management, Kawhi, my knee, I got, like, oh man, they're hurting the brand.
Who's one dude in the league today that would have been fine in the league 20 years ago? There's just a dude. He's fine. He's hardcore. And he's probably a little too hardcore for today's game.
Jimmy Butler,
Jimmy Butler. He'd been fine back then.
man, Jimmy Butler, man, he could have been playing with the Bulls. He could have been playing with the Pistons. Like, he's made himself into an NBA great. Like, it's transferable. Like, Draymond Green, dog. Man, that's transferable, man. That energy,
No doubt.
that commitment to your teammates, like his commitment to detail of doing the ugly stuff. Okay, I'm getting ready to guard the best dude above 6'6". I'm getting ready to guard. All right? And I'm getting ready to snatch 15 of them rebounds. I'm getting ready to take a couple charges. And if it get ugly, I'm about that.
Yep.
And I'm the personal protector for Clay
Correct.
and Steph. I'm gonna make sure none of that stuff go down.
So if you're in the NBA right now, the fight breaks out, and you get to have 4 dudes on your team on the court with you. You and 4 other guys. I don't give a shit who you're fighting against. Biggest, baddest team you can think of.
Ooh.
Who are the 4 guys you want on your side? You don't even turn your back because you know they're on the court with you, and you're all about ready to fuck everybody up.
Well, you got to take LeBron and Steph.
To fight.
We playing basketball though, right?
No, I'm talking about. No, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
fist
I'm
fight.
sorry. Yo, bro.
Oh, okay.
brawl,
I thought we was
fucking
gonna- I
brawl
thought-
breaks out. I'm like,
okay.
LeBron and Steph.
Okay,
Shit,
wait a
I did
second.
not see
No,
that
no,
coming.
no. Wait a
Either
second.
one of them.
No. Wait a second.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now you talking about
I'm talking about a brawl.
you talking about okay?
5 other dudes.
mod
dude,
squad.
Mod squad. Dude punches you in the mouth, and you realize you're about to fight these 5 guys. Who are the 4 guys you want standing next to you if you're in the NBA?
Okay.
Active players.
We definitely gotta have Draymond.
Okay. Yeah, that seems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got to have Draymond. Man, that's a tough question, man, because
know.
that is not a characteristic.
I know.
Like that's not a characteristic from
Of
an
the NBA, I
NBA
know.
standpoint. That
Yeah. Look
Okay.
around it. I know
like,
you're right.
who else?
They
Like,
ain't
who,
fighting
who
nobody.
else is uber?
How about Butler?
No, Jimmy Butler's gonna be on there.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the sad part. That's the sad part.
I'm gonna put
This is a hard question
I'm gonna
to
put
answer.
Djokovic on
I
there
would too.
because people try to rough him up, and man, his skill level and his ability to be able to overcome all that. So he's gonna be on that. Man, Chris Paul is one of the nastiest dudes.
Really,
bruh.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
So he's a fighter. He's a
Man,
scrapper.
man, dude is snapping at ankles now. But Chris Paul, tough dude now. Respect to Chris Paul. I think high school quarterback too.
Okay.
And there's a dude on Philadelphia, lefty, Kelly Oubre. O-B-R-U-O.
Abupre or
Tough dude.
Okay. So those are your guys.
Yeah,
They ain't a lot of them though.
Yeah, not a lot of them.
I mean,
and I'm gonna get LeBron coming off the bench. He flail a little bit too much and everything, but overall he is tough.
He's a big dude. He's strong as shit.
Oh, absolutely.
He's athletic as hell.
Right.
You don't want to put Steph on there. You can leave Steph over
No.
the side.
That's a different fight. That's a different fight.
The basketball.
That's a different fight. That's a different fight.
All right. So when you look at, and you said this another podcast talked about some guys are good NFL quarterbacks, and those guys can be good enough to win, but be good enough where you get beat. When they're getting paid, and you start looking at like some of these dudes, when you were coming up, or when you were playing in the league, who were some dudes that you played with that were your quarterbacks that were good enough to win, but also good enough like who's the best quarterback you played with in the NFL? Was on your team?
The best. Now, I wasn't fortunate to be blessed with a lot of good quarterback play.
That I know.
Now, I did play 2 years with Warren Moon, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And it was no comparison.
Best one you ever played with?
Yes. There's no comparison. I played with Rich Gannon, played with Shawn Salisbury, I played with Wade Wilson, played with Dante Culpepper, played with Randall Cunningham, played with Brad Johnson. There is, I made 8 Pro Bowls with 6 different quarterbacks.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So, but Warren Moon.
How old was Warren when you played with him?
38.
Got it. He's still
looking like he's 28.
Still the best.
Big old chest. Yeah, working hard. First guy there. Last guy out the building. Just film study. Perfectionist. I mean, every rep. I mean, he's doing individual at practice at 38, and you're swept like, who's this rookie?
Really?
Like just the energy that he goes about doing his job and the way he thinks things through. Like he'll throw the ball to a guy, and then he'll reset himself and imagine throwing to somebody else, and then imagine throwing to somebody else. So he's made 3 reads in one play, one rep.
Ball. Yeah.
Now, later on, I saw Peyton Manning doing this. I saw Tom Brady doing it. I saw Drew Brees. But I saw this dude doing it in the mid-'90s.
Before everybody.
Yes. And because he's such a superior athlete, and I'm gonna say it's a racial thing too. Very seldom ever can the black quarterback stand on the corner of, man, this dude is almost like a genius. Like, man, this dude is brilliant. Because a lot of time we just don't associate athleticism with high IQ and smart. Like all those things like can't be in the same sentence or in the same description of a player. And yes, it's rare, but in Warren Moon, that's what it was.
Really?
Yeah, and Randy Moss is a savant, man. You tell that guy one thing, he sees something one time in film, man, he stores it away, remembering it forever, remembers coverages, but because they're so athletic, we just can't say it.
That they're geniuses.
Geniuses.
Because we want to explain it with their athleticism.
Yes.
God just gave him something no one else has. He ain't also really smart and prepared and everything else. He's just a freak. But he was a genius.
Absolutely. Like
who was the one you liked? You know, if you had, I always like to ask people, like, if your wife right now, you were in Pittsburgh, and your wife needed some help. She's okay, but she needs some help. Wife, kids, and you had a guy you played with. Let's say everybody's all equal. You can call anybody you want. Who'd be the first person you want there to protect your family and check on your wife and check on your kids and make sure everybody's good?
First person I call is Johnny Randall.
Okay. Well, they'd be safe. They'd be safe. I was afraid of him through the TV.
And such a heart for the family.
Okay.
for the family unit. You know, didn't come from the best situation, but got a great deal of respect. And a lot like myself on his second marriage, and doing a lot better in his second marriage than we were in our first marriage. Like I know how he operates. And then my next guy would be Jake Reed, because I wouldn't have to explain it to him.
Who?
Jake Reed.
Really?
Me and Jake Reed had 4,000-yard seasons back to back, even before we had Randy. Him and Johnny Randall are my favorite teammates. But, dog, where I need to be, okay. What I need to do, okay.
Done. No questions asked. Good to have those guys.
Absolutely.
Did you play with some guys you would pick nobody over them?
Man, I won't trust them over a glass of water. Shit, that's one of the things I tell dudes, man. Listen, bro, don't trust none of these dudes with your old lady, man.
Yeah.
You don't know these dudes like that. This is the pros, man. Don't be bringing your old lady around here, man.
Yeah.
When dudes go out to meet, don't be bringing your girl around them, man.
Sad but
Okay?
true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there will be a time and place for all that, man.
just
But
don't-
you don't know
today-
how long you're gonna be here.
Today ain't the time. Today
Yeah,
ain't the
no,
place.
man, don't do that. No, we don't. These dudes can be treacherous. Like you don't know them.
So it's good when you get some good ones.
Oh, absolutely,
on to 'em.
absolutely.
you
But
got.
but you got 65 guys, man. You know, some of the apples got worms in them.
100%.
You just got to be able to make sure that
Just need to know.
Yes,
You just need to know.
yes.
So, officiating. I was talking to a guy the other day. He's now, I guess, as close as you got to how it works in the league and NBA. But he was talking about how difficult it's been to become an NBA official and where he's getting to. And I think about the NFL. How am I wrong in that is? Well, let me just ask you. What's the hardest sport? Let's use baseball, basketball, football. To officiate, to umpire, to ref.
The easiest one is baseball.
I would agree with that.
All right. There's only one guy calling
Ball
balls and
strikes,
strikes.
out safe,
He's the hard of them.
foul
The rest of them
fair.
is out there smoking a cigarette, chilling. What up, man? What's up? All right.
Okay, fair enough. I would agree with
Okay,
that.
how difficult is that?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
The NFL is the second, because the NBA, you have the body movement and how they call it sometimes is different every single night.
Okay.
So the players, they have to get used to the referees. In the NFL, we don't have to get used to the referees. We know what they're going to call. We know the position on the field that they're going to be. And we have no track record. We have zero history of, in 104 years, that an official has been involved in a gambling scandal.
Not one time.
Not one.
Why?
I don't know, but we got that part right.
Yes, they ain't cheating.
No.
And they've done the other sports and gotten caught.
So the NBA, we have case studies of guys that have decided that they are going to influence games for
To get paid.
paid, drug habits, all kinds of stuff, seeking retribution against players. Like that NBA, man, and the referees and the overall relationship with the players, man, is totally different. And the players in the NBA, they don't realize that's a human being. In the NFL, we approach it different, man.
Explain that.
Like we approach it
What
different.
y'all do differently?
We have a scouting report on every referee and on the crew that's doing the game. We have the percentages. We have the analytics on what they call and what they don't call. We have their name. We have where they're from. We have the number that they are, because each of them has a number,
Yeah.
jersey number.
Yeah.
So
So
that's
what did you
in the
do?
scouting
What did you
report.
do game day with that
Man, the
information?
first thing I do is go out and chat it up with them. What up, bruh?
Yeah.
How you doing? Now there's women involved in the crew.
Yeah.
Talk to them, introduce yourself. Man, I'm looking for it. Congratulations on your promotion. Know you've been working hard to get to the big show. Glad to have you here.
Yeah.
I tell them every time, listen, man, them dudes over there, they going to be holding me, okay? I'm cool with that. I'm going to be pushing, okay?
Yeah.
Don't call nothing.
Yeah, let us go.
I said, don't call nothing. I said, now, when we get on them sidelines over there, I'm getting ready to make you look bad today. Because they going to throw one, and you ain't going to be like, good Lord, that ball's out the stadium. And then guess what I'm getting ready to do? Bring it back in the stadium. And guess what that replay getting ready to do? Okay? So get yourself ready.
Yeah.
Because that's getting ready to happen today.
Yeah.
Have a good game. Congratulations.
Yeah.
They're human.
Correct.
You got to make them human.
Correct.
It's a big day for them.
You're not looking to disrespect them.
No.
Millions of people.
No.
Do they do that in the NBA? Do players do that in the NBA?
Every
All the time,
game,
dude.
Every game. Ain't nobody fouled nobody. In the NBA, I would bring back the old rule, like when we were growing up. When you fouled a guy, they blow the whistle, foul on number 20, raise your hand out of respect.
Yeah.
That's on me.
Correct. I did it. I got it. Yep.
But ain't nobody touched nobody. Dude's mouth is bloody. So coming out the socket. I ain't touching.
Nope. Nobody did nothing.
And then the way they fall all over like soccer players too. Like, so now it becomes hard to ref them. Mm-hmm. And then now we've had the scandal. So that's
hard to watch. It's not just hard to ref, it's hard to watch.
Now, I do believe that basketball players are the greatest athletes because they have size and dimension and length and their ability to run. Yeah. But the traits it takes to be a football player, I mean, there is no other sport that rivals. Like, you got to have the athleticism and, boy, you better have a heart because if not, you're going to go see the wizard.
It's just different.
It's different.
It's just different. And y'all treated them differently, so they treated you differently. So you don't see a lot of guys complaining and arguing with me the entire time. Just the call's the call. I got called for holding. I got called for holding.
Right.
Now
the last couple years, we got into a couple things and we tried to clean it up because we did have a couple altercations between player and ref, line judge, defensive lineman, and they had said some things to each other. And I know this because my guy, Troy Vincent at the league office, he's helped revamp the whole officiating and everything. And we have taken away some of that face-to-face and some of the things that the players were saying to the refs.
To each other, and refs saying it back.
Right, and because we had them mic'd up.
Yeah.
So they couldn't hide.
Correct. What you said is what you said.
And some of the conversation was not pretty.
Yeah.
So we had to get some of that respect back, but we had the data to be able to do this.
Now, what do those guys make? What's an official make a year, NFL?
I don't know exactly, but, it's always been the thing that, do we make them full-time? Because a lot of them, they work, during the week. They have careers, insurance, teachers. They do all types of things because if you look at a 17-game schedule, I don't think they have to be full-time to be effective.
Got it.
Because what's a ref going to be doing on a Monday?
He shows up Sunday, right? Comes in Saturday night for the game. Does the game Sunday, heads out Sunday night or Monday?
The rules didn't change.
No.
If he know who the teams are.
Correct.
Now, typically, they're going to give them some clips, what the team, so you get kind of used to speed, kind of the things that the players are doing. But, man, Sunday, Monday, it's a big game for them. Like, they got a unit, too. Just like the two teams playing, all the different units, they're going about this as a unit to help facilitate this thing that we call the NFL business.
Mm-hmm. Who is your favorite ref, favorite crew? Guy running the crew?
I wouldn't say, we've really had some of the, real personalities. I like Hockley. I like Hockley doing the biceps and come out there with the tight shirt on and everything.
Hey, thank God they don't test those guys.
Yeah.
Thank God there's no steroid testing for those motherfuckers.
Right. So I like the fact that how they embraced that role. Mm-hmm. And then now, even in the calls, there's more personality to the call. Mm-hmm. Like the guy realizes that, excuse me, that we're putting on a show. You part of the show. So the guy that does the replays now for CBS, who used to be the head referee for the NFL. Like he even sometime came up. Remember the time he measured the with like an index card he pulled out of his pocket?
Great.
And then he came over there smiling like, ha, first down. Like,
who doesn't want to watch that?
Like, that's
right.
great. That's part of the product. And I think that when we have gotten things wrong, what we don't like is on a Monday for our fan base not to know what the rules are.
Okay.
So we have tried to clarify that. You know, catch, no catch. Like, you don't hear that no more in the NFL.
Base.
Yes.
Got it.
For the fan base. Because there's nothing worse than having a great contest, but the next day everybody's talking about the call. New Orleans, oh my God, I can't believe they didn't call pass interference on the Rams guy to go to the Super Bowl. Like, what a great game, but it's all about that call.
Correct.
So we're always fighting our base.
Okay.
And trying
you're always educating your base.
Yes.
Over communicating.
Yes.
So the base knows what's going on.
Yes.
No other pro sport does that.
No.
They don't talk to the base.
No.
It don't matter which is bad business, by the way.
Like the NBA, what they do is they will tell you, oh, we reviewed the game the other night, and in the fourth quarter, we got 10 calls wrong. What good is that doing me?
Just means you ain't that good.
It's disrespectful.
It is.
It's disrespectful.
The
Like,
refs,
this is
you're
supposed to
not-
be
right.
the best of the best. No one's supposed to be missing 10 calls. If I go to Little League and Susie's playing down to church or something, I expect that dude to miss 10 calls, but not the best of the best.
Correct.
So I think that right there, it puts, our fans in a better frame of mind that they will get some type of explanation and or we will change the rules.
Well, in the NFL, I would assume is pretty tough on them and holds them a pretty high standard too, from a rating standpoint, ranking standpoint, who stays, who goes, kind of that non-guaranteed life, like produce,
yes,
or you're out, right?
And that's why the
miss
replay
10 calls
the replay becomes critical. You get a chance to challenge it.
Correct.
Send it to the replay. You got all this technology, challenge it.
Correct.
So that part right there helps rectify, some mistakes. But there's certain things that are not replayable. And if you're going to have a human element in sports, which we always want, we don't want robots out there, that part we have to be willing to live with because it works out over the season.
Did you ever see players that didn't understand that relationship thing and it just continued to bite them in the ass? Like
Yes.
the dudes just kept making calls because they couldn't just say, how you doing, what's up? They just F this, F that. Did you see it?
Yeah, they're not going to give you benefit of
It's
that
human
doubt.
nature, right?
Like, it is human nature that if a person likes you or they sense respect, they're going to respect what you're doing.
Correct.
And I just want it to be fair. Like, I'm not
That's right.
I'm not talking to them because I expect them to like me. I'm just because I just want it to be fair, and I do believe that there's a benefit in talking to Chris Carter before the game compared to when I'm doing my job and you doing your job, and then we engage each other and it's heated.
Correct.
Like, it don't have to be that way. Let me say hi, and then if it gets heated later on, at least I made an introduction.
Right. Plus, the psychology behind it is they ain't stupid. Their fans are there to see the players. They're there to see the players. They don't want to make an ass of themselves.
Right.
They want to be respected. They don't want to be. They're screamed at all game long. What fan ever cheers for? I mean, they cheer for a call, but they don't get any love from anybody.
No,
Throw
absolutely.
them a little love. It's I like that too. That's interesting. You said that. Like, yo, he's gonna hold me. I'm gonna push on him. Just leave us alone.
Yes.
Like,
I'm
I'm
cool with
good.
that. I'm totally cool
I'm gonna
with
be
that.
fine. As opposed to the whole game.
Yes.
He's holding me. He's holding me. He's holding me. He's holding me. It's like, dude, eventually you're the boy that cried wolf.
Yes.
Every time you want the damn call.
And if I'm a great defensive lineman, the only way they're going to be able to stop you is to hold you.
It's the only way to stop him. If you're that great, you can't block him.
That's the only way. So I'm just going to point out to him, okay, the only way this dude going to be able to stop me
That's it.
is to hold me.
Yeah, there's no other
All
shot.
right, so I just want you to watch,
Right.
to see.
Because if he stops me,
Yeah.
pay attention when I get stopped.
Yeah, I'm willing
He'll be
to
holding
give him that. Yes.
Because
Yes.
I'm that good.
And they know it. Because they see special every week. They know it when they see it.
That's a tough job.
Yes.
Officiating the whole damn thing.
And it's very intimidating.
For the refs.
Because the interaction, and it's so intense. The NBA is, walking up the court.
Baseball,
okay, we got a high
throwing
pick.
a pitch. Yeah.
No, man. No, that 6 seconds from the time they call the play. Second down, 8. Third and 3.
Yeah. It's that brutal.
Yeah, it's like getting into, if you are a regular player, it's like getting into 30 car crashes in one night.
That's what somebody. So I had a guy on a podcast a while back. He was an assistant coach with the Dolphins for a minute. And Zach Saban was there. I'll tell you this about Zach Thomas. So he come over, and this dude's young, and he says, hey, I need you to go over to Zach and tell him that he got to pick it up a little bit in pregame. Like he ain't moving, hitting hard enough, and on and on and on. So this dude's like, great, I've been here a minute. Fucking Zach Thomas is he's a pro. Excuse me, Zach. Coach Saban said, and he said, Zach spun around, looked at him, and said, you tell Coach Saban that at my size, I only got so many hits in me.
Yes.
And this is exactly how I will survive in the NFL.
Yeah.
And secondly, if he has something to say to me, tell him come say it himself.
Yep.
He went walking back.
Yep.
What did he say? He told him, he goes, okay, sounds about right. But like it is that, and that's what he said. It was like it's like being in a car accident over and over and over again.
Yes. And these guys become experts at it.
Yeah.
They become marksmen at it.
And most of these guys, and I don't know if it's like that in the NBA or in the major leagues at all. Most of these guys didn't play football, right? Like, or did they? I don't know. Did a lot?
Well, this is the thing. It's more
Not
of
that
a,
they needed to.
It's like more of a mentality.
Yeah.
Like the guys you watch, like on the pod, you talked about Matt Barnes earlier.
Yeah.
Matt Barnes and my guy that does the podcast with him. Goodness gracious, he's gonna kill me. Steven. Yeah, Jackson. Yeah, Jack. Them dudes got the mentality. Like them dudes could have been wide receivers in the NFL.
100%. Matt Barnes went over to the other sideline to fight you.
Yes, he could have been. He could have been.
He drove a long way to kick Derek Fisher's ass. He gonna fight you.
Yeah, he could have been a safety in the league.
That's right.
Good athletes,
Absolutely.
agile, but that type of attitude.
Absolutely.
That's the kind of stuff that carries you. So, LeBron was a very good high school player. Broke his wrist. He was all-state wide receiver there in Ohio. But a lot of them, because of their size and because they're so angular, like they're built different. Like our shoulders are broader. Their shoulders are not that broad. Their arms and legs are longer. And that's all the target in football. That's not an advantage, in football. And then, man, if you don't have that mentality, that I ain't gonna flinch mentality, you get run off.
Correct.
You graduate from high school, you go to Ohio State, they run you off. Well, you never get there, they run you off. That's the way it is.
It's a different world.
Yep.
Different world. So when you were playing, were women officiating? No. They weren't. When did that start?
I would say that started, like 3 years ago, we had won the Super Bowl. So I would say in the last six years.
Got it.
Yes, that women have elevated through the high school ranks, through the college ranks, because that's where they came from.
Really?
It wasn't they just didn't place them there.
They just built their way up.
Yes. They went just like the men did.
For 15, 20,
and then when it opened up, there were women already that had worked themselves.
Were they forbidden from doing it before? Or just they didn't have, was it like we don't do that? Or did it never come to anybody's mind?
Well, it had to be.
What's that?
I said it had to be.
So they just never picked females.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they finally opened it up under my guy, Troy Vincent. He's the one that's led that whole department and senior VP, NFL operations.
Dude, they seem to do a hell of a job or nobody argues with them.
The women they have to be so much better than the men to get there.
Correct. You get the best of the best of the best.
Yes.
Because you don't see people, they don't argue or they're just that good.
And the rules, man, are clear. Like, if you read the rules and then they show you different explanations in tape, if you're a learned person, you can ref a game.
Correct.
If you like sports, you like competition, you can ref a game because they're rules. And they're interpreted. And we got video to be able to prove to you, okay, this is what you can do. This is what you can't do. So why wouldn't women athletically because if they can get up and down the court, they can get up and down the field, they should be able to ref a game with the same competency that a man should. Like,
Well, they do.
absolutely.
They do.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up with this for all you gamblers. We're gonna ride this all year long. We're gonna start. We're coming up. We'll be starting picks soon. College football this year. Give me a team that people are counting out. You think has legitimate new playoff structure, right? Like all new, everything changes, right? Mm-hmm. Who's somebody that people are sleeping on that you'd be like, dude, these guys could actually win the national championship? What team would that be?
It would probably be Oregon.
Oregon. Okay.
For the first time. Like,
Really?
they've been in the national championship game, but they were overmatched in that game
Why you
against
think
Ohio
Oregon
State.
got a shot?
I think their coach is special.
Okay.
I think because of the resources in the NIL, it changed for them.
Yeah.
That now they can get any kid.
They got big money
coach to
there.
Ooh,
Oregon is no joke.
they got serious
Yeah.
money, and they built it up, the right way.
Okay.
They don't play a tough schedule. They play Ohio State early, which will be a legitimate test, but then ultimately we could see a rematch for them. It's one of the final teams in there. I think that a team that would be the team that people aren't talking about. The more obvious teams, there's 3 of them. Georgia, they got their starting quarterback coming back. Texas got their starting quarterback coming back, and they got the Manning kid backing him up. That he's eventually going to have to play because they paying him, I think, $2 million to sit on the bench.
They're paying him $2 million so he don't play?
Yeah, as a freshman, he was the number 1 recruit. Archie Manning's grandson.
Yeah.
I just talked to Peyton Manning. I played in the golf tournament in Columbus, Ohio. Asked about the kid, and he said, Chris, we've explained the process. So we believe he's going to play a little bit this year, but we love the fact that the way they're building it, he loves the school. Why transfer? Like, just a little more money or something like that? Like, sit and learn.
Now, how many years is you? How many more? He got 1 more year left? He's done?
No, he just started. He was the number 1 player in high school last year that went to Texas. He was a freshman, didn't play, made $2 million.
Okay. The kid, the Manning kid, I know that. The kid that's starting this. What?
This is last year.
I'm sorry. This
is last year. No,
so
but he's a baller though.
No doubt.
Oh no, he is a baller. In Texas, they got it. They got a good shot. They got a good coach. Texas,
but he gets it. Kid gets it. I get a little bit of time. I'm at a great school.
Yeah, Texas, Georgia,
Get myself
Ohio
some
State.
time.
Yes, those are the teams. Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon.
Which coach you like best out of those 3? Who's the best offensive coach out of those 3? Head coach.
Oh, the best offensive coach is Ryan Day.
Is he?
Yeah, what they do at Ohio State and how they develop the receivers and everything. They also got another running back, Junkin, from Ole Miss. So they got Trey Henderson. They got Junkin running back. They got this receiver from Miami, the number 1 player in the country, going there, JJ, 6'4". He's going to replace Marvin Harrison Jr. People are going to be like, what happened?
He's here now.
Well, what happened? I thought y'all lost him. What happened? Like,
Correct.
That's the way that, Brian Hartline, the receiver coach at Ohio State, he's got them stacked up year after year. First round pick. Emeka, the number 1 receiver they have for Ohio State, will be a first-round pick.
Yeah.
So offensively, I would have to say Ryan Day.
Got it. And then this year, there's an expanded playoff.
12 teams.
12 teams.
Yeah.
What does that mean now? Can you lose 2 games? Can you during the year?
Certain teams can.
Depending
There's only going to be you would have to be in the top 5 to lose 2 games.
Got it.
And you're going to have to make sure you lose to the right people. If you don't lose to the right people, you're going to be out of it.
So what division, if you win it, is going to guarantee you a spot in those 12? There's not really one, but what if you win the SEC?
No, if you win it's already pretty much spoken for. Because what happened to Florida State last year never happened again.
Got it.
Where they win the ACC and then not get in. That will never happen. So the Power 5 conferences.
All you win the conference.
All of them.
You're in.
Automatically, depending on who is the backup in the ACC, who's the runner-up, how do they finish in that championship game? You can't get blown out in that.
Right.
If not, they'll go to another independent because they don't want to see that rematch. So the SEC runner-up, the Big Ten runner-up, the ACC runner-up. I don't know about the Pac-12 because we're not in love with them as a football conference, but those are the teams that really have a chance to have 2 teams in there. So if the SEC has 2, ACC's got 2, Big Ten's got 2. So there's only 6 teams left, bro.
Correct.
And then the Pac-12, they're going to have an automatic. So now you only got 5 teams left.
Correct.
So all these people talking, oh man, the playoffs is wide open.
Not really.
Not so much.
Depends on where you are.
Yeah.
Depends on where you are.
Yeah, it's still the lands of the haves and have-nots.
Correct.
The big boys are going to get the spots.
Who's a little boy that can end up in the playoffs that nobody's talking about at all? They could end up getting the 12th spot. End up getting a spot in that deal.
And not because I'm their FAU.
I agree.
Like, we could shock people. We could
Why?
win. We could win our conference. And if we can win our conference, it's going to put us in position that we would be a top 20 team. Now, because of our schedule, it matches up that we open up at Michigan State, but we're not going to be playing a ranked team. We could be a lot like Liberty was last year. We could be a lot like Tulane was last year. We could be a lot like SMU has been. Like, that's where we are. Like, we've really added some quality players, but you got to win your conference, and then, which in turn is going to put you in the top 20. If you win your conference, you're in the top 20. The chances are one of those at-large berths, you can
Got
get
a shot. Well, you sure as hell know we're pulling for you. We're fired up. It'll be amazing. Hey, first, thank you, as always. Thanks for your knowledge. Appreciate your advice.
Good, bro.
Appreciate you pouring into us and your honesty. I like that. I like somebody that is fully loaded and just lets it loose. So we appreciate you, man. Guys, thanks for jumping on. Like, subscribe, share. We're excited about what we're putting together here. We're excited about our guests we got coming up, and always excited about Chris Carter. Thanks, y'all, for jumping on. Appreciate you.